If I ask you to think about the absolute smartest, most educated places in America, where pops into your mind? You're probably picturing Boston, right? Home of Harvard and MIT, or maybe Silicon Valley, flooded with Stanford geniuses and tech elites. But what if I told you they both just got beat out by our cozy little region right here in North Carolina? No, seriously. The personal finance site WalletHub just dropped their massive data breakdown of the most educated cities in the country for 2026. And the Triangle region of North Carolina, home to Raleigh, Durham, and Chapel Hill, completely dominated. The Durham-Chapel Hill metro area ranked as the #2 most educated place in the entire United States. And Raleigh wasn't too far behind at #7. So today, I want to dig into how that actually happened, because it's not just a fun stat to brag about, it actually tells you a lot about why this region works the way it does. But before we get into the numbers, my name is Matt Martin, and not only am I a Raleigh-based realtor, but I'm also a transplant to the Triangle region, originally from LA and New York City. I've helped tons of clients, just like you, do exactly what we did back in 2021 and relocate to the Triangle region. So if you're looking to do the same, I'd love to help you too. And of course, if you'd like to see more content like this, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe right down below. So here's the game plan for this video. First, I'll explain how WalletHub actually built this ranking, since it's a lot more detailed than you may think. Then we'll look at the specific numbers for Durham-Chapel Hill and Raleigh-Cary. And then after that, we'll look at why this is happening here specifically, and I'll close out with what it actually means for your wallet if you're weighing a move to the area. So let's start with how WalletHub came up with these rankings. They looked at the 150 largest metro areas in the country and scored each one across 11 different metrics, which they split into 2 main buckets. The first bucket is educational attainment. This is the straightforward stuff you'd expect. What percentage of adults have a high school diploma, an associate's degree, a bachelor's degree, or a graduate degree? Then the second bucket is quality of education and the attainment gap. This one is way more interesting. It's not just counting how many people have degrees. It's looking at how good the local schools and universities actually are, and then how evenly that education is distributed across race and gender. A metro area can have a ton of degree holders and still score poorly here if there's a massive equity gap between groups. Now, these 2 categories combine into the overall ranking. And what's important to note here is that the Triangle didn't just score well on the straight up number of higher education holders we have. It scored incredibly high on quality and equity as well. So let's look at Durham-Chapel Hill, which came in at #2 overall out of 150 metro areas. The only city ahead of it in the entire country was Ann Arbor, Michigan, which is home to the University of Michigan. And here's the kicker. Durham-Chapel Hill ranked #1 in the country in that quality of education and attainment gap category. And that was mainly driven by the fact that the region has one of the largest gender education gaps favoring women, in addition to ranking in the top 10 for overall quality of its universities, which tracks since Duke and UNC Chapel Hill are both located in this region. Then, when you look at the other category, educational attainment, Durham landed at #2 in that specific bracket, with over 53% of adults 25 and older in the Durham metro having a bachelor's degree or higher, which puts them at #4 in the country, and then more than 26% of the entire population having a graduate or professional degree, which ties them for the #1 spot. That's a lot of really smart people concentrated in one area. And here's the comparison worth repeating. Durham-Chapel Hill outranked San Jose, California, which came in at #3. San Jose is the literal heart of Silicon Valley and Stanford's backyard, so it's one of the most concentrated tech and engineering talent pools on the planet, and Durham still finished ahead of it. Then if we move right next door to Raleigh-Cary, it landed at #7 overall. Now, on its own, that's an incredibly strong showing, especially when you realize it beat out major powerhouse metros like Austin, Seattle, and Boston, which usually dominate these lists. And Raleigh's rankings really come down to its widespread educational attainment. It placed third in the country for the share of adults with at least some college experience or an associate's degree or higher. Then overall, about 52.5% of Raleigh residents have a bachelor's degree or higher, compared to a national and statewide average of just 37%. So when you put it all together, we've got two different triangle metros sitting in the top 7 nationally, and both of them scored higher than Boston, a metro that's literally built around two of the most famous universities on earth, Harvard and MIT. So let that sink in for just a second. So how is our region pulling numbers like this? Well, a few things are working together here, and some of these stats are genuinely surprising. We'll start with this. The Triangle has the 4th highest concentration of PhDs of any region in the entire country. And when people think of the region's universities, most stop at 3 schools: NC State, UNC-Chapel Hill, and Duke. And yes, those are the 3 big Tier 1 research universities. And when you draw an imaginary line between them, you get the triangle shape that the region is named after. But they're not the whole story. Between the universities, community colleges, and HBCUs in this region, you're looking at roughly 24 institutions of higher education. We have 12 colleges and universities, 9 community colleges, and 4 HBCUs, all producing about 65,000 graduates every year that feeds straight into the local economy. That's a small city's worth of new degree holders entering the Triangle workforce every single year. Then you have the Research Triangle Park sitting right in the center of it all, which was built specifically to connect those institutions to actual industries. Tech, biotech, and pharmaceutical companies are setting up shop here because that talent pool already exists, and it keeps replenishing itself every single year. And that pretty much creates a constant loop. Educated people move here because the high-paying jobs are here. The jobs are here because the educated people are here. And a couple dozen schools keep sending a massive wave of new graduates into the ecosystem. So the cycle just keeps reinforcing itself. That's the difference between a city that happens to have a couple of good schools and a region that has built its entire economic identity around education and research. So if you're thinking about relocating to the Triangle, know that you're moving to one of the most educated regions in the country, which helps support one of the nation's strongest economies. It's a huge part of why our local job market skews so heavily towards tech, biotech, and research roles. It's part of why public schools across the region tend to be highly rated and well supported. And from a real estate perspective, it's a massive reason why home values here have held up so incredibly well. When you have this much sustained demand from educated, high-earning professionals moving into an area, that housing demand doesn't just disappear overnight. Then if you're a parent weighing school quality for your kids, or you're relocating your career for a job in tech or life sciences, this is the kind of underlying data that should give you a ton of confidence about putting roots down here. So to recap, WalletHub's 2026 ranking put Durham-Chapel Hill at the #2 most educated metro in the country, ahead of even Silicon Valley, driven by a #1 ranking in education quality and equity. Then Raleigh-Cary came in at #7 overall, beating out Boston, Austin, and Seattle, driven by the sheer breadth of education across the population. So what stood out to you the most about these rankings? Are you surprised by any of this, or did you already know we were secretly surrounded by geniuses? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're ready to take advantage of everything this region has to offer and want to kick off your house hunt anywhere in the Triangle region of North Carolina, I would love to be your guide. You can reach me by phone, email, or text, and you can find all my contact information in the link below or by scanning this QR code right here with your phone. And if you liked this video, I have a whole catalog of others all about moving to, living in, and buying real estate in and around Raleigh, North Carolina. Here's another video right here that you may like, so give it a click to keep on watching.